Have you ever typed something in a search box only to be frustrated by how slow it responds? If that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into how to use RxJS Debounce in a React text input component to make your search experience smoother. I totally get it. It's annoying when every keystroke triggers an action and your app feels sluggish. You're not alone in this. Many developers face this challenge when building responsive applications. Here's the specific question we're addressing today. One user asked, how do I use debounce on RxJS in my React component? They provided a snippet of their code, which we'll take a closer look at. So what is debounce? In simple terms, debounce is a technique that limits the rate at which a function can fire. This is especially useful in scenarios like search inputs, where you want to wait until the user has stopped typing before sending a request. And stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share a quick tip on how to optimize your React components even further. To implement debounce using RxJS in the user's React component, the first step is to import the necessary operators from RxJS. The user should import from event and debounce time from the RxJS library. Next, the user should set up an observable for the input changes. This can be done in the component's lifecycle method, such as component didMount. The observable will listen for changes to the input field. Now, the user should modify the onChange method to handle the debounced input. This method will still log the new text and update the component's state. Finally, the user should ensure to clean up the observable when the component unmounts. This prevents memory leaks by unsubscribing from the observable. Fun fact, the term debounce comes from the world of electronics, where it refers to the process of eliminating noise from a signal. Now we're using it to clean up our code. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach suggests using refract for debouncing in a React text input component. First, extract the input into a separate component. Then wrap it with refract's with effects higher order component, utilizing an aperture to observe the value prop and a handler to manage the debounced output. In the example provided, the search component uses the debounced input to display user input instantly while debouncing the onUpdate callback. This enhances user experience by providing immediate feedback. That's the end of that answer. Let's see another perspective. An alternative approach suggests extracting the subject logic from the React component. This user believes that since the subject has no state, it can be managed outside the component, making it easier to understand. They also mention that the example is updated to use RxJS version 6.2.2. In this approach, the component subscribes to the subject and component didMount, and unsubscribes and component will unmount. The onSearch method updates the state and emits the search value to the subject. Here's a pro tip. Always test your debounce timing. A delay that's too short might not help, while one that's too long can make your app feel unresponsive. And there you have it. You've successfully implemented debounce in your React text input component using RxJS. Remember, optimizing user input can greatly enhance the user experience. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button for more tips and stay tuned for our next video.